So basically, I'm just gonna jump right in. This is our wellness talk. Let's talk wellness Wednesday, and this
Right.
is the first time that we've gotten together on this platform to have.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And so I'm actually excited about it. A little bit about us. We crossed paths many years ago.
Yep.
I think both of us were at different states in our lives when we did meet.
Yep.
And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you can correct me where I'm wrong. It's probably like a little over what 13, 14 years.
Yeah, it's about 14. It's about 14. Because the thing is, because I've been in Atlanta for 16 years.
Yeah, that's
I
my.
met you about 2 years after coming here. So
Yeah,
that's a
it's been
minute.
a minute. It's been a
That's
minute.
a hot minute, man.
So with that being said, we've been knowing each other for a good little time, and you know
Yeah.
exactly why we're here today. We're talking about wellness because I think at that period in my life, I was over 300 and like 15, 16 pounds at that time, right?
You were a big
So
guy.
I was a
You were
big
a big guy.
I
You were
was
a big guy.
some pounds, so life completely changed for me, and
Yep.
you know things change for you as well. So we just
Yeah.
want to kind of
Yeah.
start having this conversation. Let's talk about wellness, talk about different things that affect our day-to-day lives, um,
Right.
and how that can really affect our outcomes in the long term. So
Yep.
specifically, we're going to talk about digestive health today, only
Okay.
because I think it's really important. There, I've experienced something here recently, and it was life changing. And
Yeah. Yeah.
with him and just being completely transparent, it was hemorrhoids. And I had
Right.
never in my life experienced nothing like that before. And
Right.
I went to the doctor and stuff like that. He shared with me, about eating right and getting the proper
Mm,
fiber in your body and all that kind of
yeah.
stuff. And I started thinking, I'm like, man, how did I get to this point?
Mm.
What happened?
Yeah.
So
Knowing your journey. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
yeah, knowing my journey, knowing my experience, and I've never experienced anything like this. And so I'm like, okay, how did I get to this point? And then I started thinking about where I was in my life. I was really busy, had a lot of stuff going on in my life. I wasn't
Yeah.
eating correctly, so it was one of those
Mm.
failing to plan to eat correctly.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's why I misstep, and that happens to
Yeah.
people all the time. And
It happens.
it's just lack of education, lack of
Right.
planning. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I really wanted to bring you in today, to have this conversation, so you probably can offer up some best practices, and let's just have the
Right.
conversation about what can we do differently. Because if I was to have, things are definitely. Gotten better for me, and I'm very aware of it now, but I still want to have the conversation about it,
Right.
kind of be like, okay, so what should we be doing day to day that can really affect how our digestive system's operating and getting us into a more of a healthy organic approach.
Well, first of all, I think the stomach and the digestive area is one of the most underrated areas
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to health and fitness. People
Yeah.
talk about everything else. People talk about your biceps,
Right.
people talk about legs, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? And then we have all these where we these things where we create like days and stuff like, Monday's International Chest Day, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? You
Right.
know, never skip leg day, and we have all these things. But what about the stomach though? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I'm not talking about abs.
Not as the
I'm not talking about abs at all. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Because this is so big that it's beyond abs.
Right.
And what I mean is,
Mm-hmm.
and let's get this out of the way, of the rip. You don't need abs to be in good health. You know what I'm saying? You don't.
You
You
don't.
know,
That's a prep.
abs is more of a right. Abs is more of an incidental thing. And what I mean is, you do certain things, you're gonna get abs. Some of it is genetics. Some
Mm-hmm.
of it is how hard you work.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really more cosmetic, and
Yeah.
it also signifies core strength too. But we're talking about health,
Health.
right?
Right.
When you
Absolutely.
talk about health, you're talking about from the inside out, not the outside in. And
Mm-hmm.
what happens a lot of times is, even in the health and fitness industry, you have a lot of fads,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
That are very unhealthy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have these cheat days and and,
Right.
and cheat meals, and these are things that I don't believe in. I don't practice them because I don't believe in them if you're really trying to be in good health.
Yeah.
So, and this is something that's pushed a lot in the fitness industry. So you have these days where you eat pizza and you eat this, you eat that, and you have people who adopt these habits and
Mhm,
find themselves struggling,
mhm,
right? And I'll give you one example. I have one client who he was doing really well, right? He had lost like 12 pounds,
mhm,
right? Worked with me. I think he lost the 12 pounds in about 4 weeks, right? So he was doing well.
mhm,
He went away for one weekend.
mhm,
I think he went to Miami or somewhere.
mhm.
And he tried this cheat meal thing, right? His cheat meal, because this is what happens. A cheat meal can easily turn into a cheat day
Absolutely.
and escalate from there to a cheat weekend. And
Yeah.
that's what happened to him. So he went from a cheat meal and he just decided, well, I'm already, and he cheated for the whole weekend. And in that weekend alone, he regained about 5, 6 pounds.
I believe that.
And from there, it was downhill because now he had to kind of start over a little bit. And, the struggle just
Right.
build
Getting back
from
to
there,
things. Right.
right?
Right. Right. Right.
So we have to be careful of not paying attention to this gut area,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it begins and ends with the gut. And what I mean is good or compromised health,
Mhm.
right? I think you're gonna add something. You're gonna say something.
Yeah, I was just saying because I think a lot of people, and then what I began to do is I started having conversations with people around me. It's like, okay, have you experienced this before? Or what's going on
Right,
with that?
right.
And it was all the common thing is boiled down to what you're eating. And I think
Yeah,
so many people, and I was guilty of it, you know what I'm saying? Just not cognizant about what I was putting in my mouth. There's so much food that's out here that's full of processed and full of stuff that we don't even know, right?
yeah,
And we
yeah.
religiously put that stuff in our bodies, right?
Yep,
And then
yep.
we can't understand, like, well, why is it that I'm not actually going to the bathroom like I'm supposed to? I done ate
As often.
four,
Yep.
five solid meals and ain't never
Yeah,
shifted. So
yeah,
that should be alarming to you. But for some people,
yeah,
it's become their norm. That's become
yeah.
the
And
norm.
that's the sad part.
That is a
That's the
sad
sad
part.
part. Because we need to understand and to kind of let's jump into some details about this gut situation and
Yeah.
how serious it is.
Yeah.
Almost every illness
Mm-hmm.
or disease
Mm-hmm.
starts in the digestive system,
Facts.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's around 70% of your immune tissue
Mm-hmm.
resides in the gut. The
Yep.
gut is really important. I
Mm.
heard something I didn't even know that um, even for women, even breast cancer starts in the gut.
Wow. Wow.
Breast cancer don't start in the breast.
Right.
Prostate cancer starts in the gut,
Right.
right? So the gut is the gatekeeper
Yeah,
for the
that's good.
body,
That's good.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is very important to pay attention to that stomach area and eat the right foods, eat the prebiotics and the probiotics,
Right.
right?
Right.
And all these foods that will help to balance off the gut flora.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't happen,
Mm-hmm.
we're heading down a road that could introduce us to a lot of different types of illnesses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, people, I'm known for and you know this too. I'm known for the stomach thing, the abs thing, and all that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, for me, gut health is very important. It's
Yeah.
not just about the six pack thing. The
Yeah.
six pack thing is cool, but for me, that's secondary.
Right, because the six pack thing is kind of like a byproduct, especially if you're
Right,
working out.
right.
Even for me, as I begin to lose weight and stuff like that, I begin to see my abs
Start seeing, yeah,
but I
right,
haven't been putting so much attention, just focusing on that primarily. It's
right,
a byproduct of actually going,
right,
just
right.
working out. So I totally agree with you on that. So
Yeah,
let me ask you jumping in real quickly. When you talk about the digestive health, I know I'm jumping, but what is something that you consume on a daily basis that really support your digestive system, to keep you regular like you're supposed to?
I'll give you a few things that I do. Um, that is of utmost importance.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables,
Yeah.
right? I think the recommended servings per day is supposed to be around between uh 5 and 7 servings,
Okay.
right?
So let me
So,
ask you this. So because it's
mhm,
easy to say, okay, I eat fruits and vegetables, right?
right,
But what does that look like in your world? Is that like time you wake up in the morning? Because I love coffee, right?
right.
So for me, coffee is my thing. But then sometimes you have to break away from that. So when you
Yeah.
wake up in the morning, do you first thing you do is consume fruits and vegetables? What does it look like for you? Because some people don't really eat the proper amount of fruits and vegetables.
Right. And they think that, yeah, some
Yes,
people
they do.
would have a side vegetable as a side with their lunch, and they, you
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right. And then sometimes it's
That's
overly seasoned with
right.
sodium and
Yeah.
all the
It
stuff.
has cheese in it, it
Right.
has bacon in it.
Like getting what you need from that
It's just
vegetable.
crazy.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
for me, when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I drink a glass of water,
yeah.
right? And that's
Yeah.
kind of to start
Yeah.
the detox process
Mhm.
and to get my body flowing. A glass of water first thing in the morning is highly recommended because it's a good habit. You
Mhm.
know, it just helps your body, right? And also, it was also studied and proven that starting the day with a glass of water
Mhm.
helps your body function better to burn off calories as your day continues, right? So my first thing is a glass of water. And
Can
right after that,
I,
I
okay,
would do a juice, right?
okay, gotcha.
So what I do is I cycle on and off on different types of juices, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So right now I'm doing an onion juice, right?
Now you have some stuff that you put together in terms of different juices and different things that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do on a daily basis because you have a book out, right?
With the book, yep, there's a lot of
So
recipes
this
in there.
this piece that you're talking about, is that one of the recipes that's in your book?
Yes,
Oh,
yes. You could find now this particular onion recipe is not in there. This is something new that I learned with
nice.
just the onion. The other ingredients that I put in I have those in the book
Okay,
as one ingredient. The onion is just something I added to one of the ingredients that's in the book,
gotcha.
right? So it's onions, tomatoes,
Mm.
carrots, and oranges, right? And you blend that up. So it's not a juice in the juicer. It's something you blend it up.
All these fresh vegetables.
All fresh vegetables and all organic. I try my best to
Good,
use organic.
good for you.
And in a uh, future video, we would do something where
Yeah,
we
like a
discuss the
lot.
organic thing and the non-organic stuff. But
Yeah.
for now, so that's the mix that I do every single morning.
Mhm.
And I drink that before eating any
So
uh
So I'm okay. That's good to know because I'm sure drinking the water and having that juice mix kind of helps with your appetite and regulate stuff there.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So what is I guess when we'll talk about that, I guess on another one in terms of what those portions look like and how much, you know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this, it's planning to eat
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah,
Planning
yeah.
to eat healthy. You get what
That's
I'm
part of
saying?
it. Yeah,
That is, man, that is very key to success.
yeah.
So the onion juice. So you got your water in the morning. First thing
Right.
you move in, drink a whole. And how many ounces is that?
I do about between 8 to 12 ounces. I do
Eight to 12 ounces.
between 8 to 12.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you move into your fruit juice before you do anything else.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I do my juice and sometimes I mix it up. Sometimes I'll do my beet juice as well, where I do the beet and the celery
Mm,
with the lemons
mm.
and stuff like that. I'll do that as well sometimes. So I mix it up. You know what
Gotcha.
I'm saying?
I
But
like
I definitely do a juice before anything else because as
that.
I mentioned previously a few minutes ago, getting those prebiotics and probiotics in your system is
Mm,
very important for regulating your stomach health, right?
gotcha.
As far
Gotcha.
as like, getting your stomach together
Hmm.
and regulating your system. So that's first order of business.
Hmm. So I think it's really, I mean, this is great information because, I mean, knowing is everything, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
talk about the prebiotics and probiotics. I think, and that content is very important and
Hmm.
understand what does what. So we're understanding we're not just eating stuff just to be eaten, but we're understanding
Right,
what it is that those
right.
vegetables and fruits are doing for our bodies. Now, in terms of solid foods, I know you don't juice all day. So are you
Right.
primarily like a pescatarian, vegetarian? Like, what is your normal eating habit?
Well, the ratio for me is 80-20. And what I mean is I'm like 80% vegetables, fruits and vegetables,
Okay.
and the other 20% I do protein in the form of meat and stuff. So I do meat. I
Okay.
just don't do a lot of it,
Gotcha.
right? So I'd eat meat uh maybe like once a day. So I
Gotcha.
eat meat once per day, right?
Right.
And the rest of my protein, I try to get it like from beans and different things like that,
Makes sense.
right? So I limit how much meat I intake, and I
Mhm.
make sure to do a lot of fruits and vegetables, right? Just to make sure that my system is really working well,
Mhm.
and I'm going to the bathroom regular and stuff like that, because
Right.
that's very important. As you mentioned earlier, the constipation thing, that's a serious struggle for a lot of people.
A
A
lot
lot of
of
people
people, and
struggle
there's
with
no age limit.
constipation.
There's no age limit on it. There's no
People
idea
struggle
who it is.
constipation.
I've talked to, females. I've talked to males, and
People
everybody
struggle with constipation. And
comes.
what it is, right? Let me add this, right? This is what happens to people sometimes too. Sometimes people will switch from a terrible food
Mm-hmm.
to bad food and think that they did something healthy, right? And as you mentioned 2 minutes ago, it's because people just don't know. And this is why it's important to get educated on these matters, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
you may be switching from something that's terrible to something that's bad. And what's happening is that isn't necessarily going to give you any meaningful results,
Right.
right? All you did was switch from one thing to the other,
And it's
right?
not gonna happen overnight. And I think consistency is key, right? Just because
Right,
you make a change for a day or two,
right,
it's automatically gonna mean you're gonna see a dramatic change. I think longevity and consistency is very, very important because, like I said before, I've never experienced it, but it's very easy to get off track once you got
right,
a lot going on and you're juggling.
right.
But keeping
Yep,
that in front of your head, in front of your thought process, and being intentional about, okay,
right.
what am I consuming today?
Exactly,
I remember when I
exactly.
first started my weight loss journey, one of the things that really stuck out to me, I heard one of the coaches say before, was how much color is on your plate. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? The more
right,
colorful, the
right.
more, the better it's going to
Yes,
support
yes,
your digestive system, right? So I started thinking about that more often. I was like, man, I don't see enough green on my plate. I don't see enough of this. You know what I'm saying? Because
enough
everything
reds and enough. Yep,
watered down with butter, sugar, all that. And none of that was supporting my digestive system like it needed to. So I had to,
right.
come into awareness of that and being more cognizant. So, I mean, that is a great point. Consistency is very important to your digestive health.
Major importance.
If you get off, get back on. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you fall off, get back on it.
Yep.
So, you just going to add something?
I was gonna say too, and people don't have to pressure themselves, right?
Right,
I
right,
think sometimes people psych themselves out by putting too much pressure on themselves to do something,
right,
right?
right.
Just make small changes. You know what I'm saying? If you drink 4 sodas a day, right?
Mhm.
Don't just try to cut out all 4 sodas out your life and think that that's going to be an easy decision. You've been doing this for 5, 10 years, right?
Look, long
So,
that.
right. So what you need to do is, you know, for the first 1 or 2 weeks, cut it down from 4 sodas a day to three,
Mhm,
right? And when you get the hang of the three, cut it down to two.
mhm.
And that's how you progress, right?
Yeah.
People try to do too much sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, overcommit, right? Over.
Right.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that, and it's, one of the things is, it's funny you talk about the whole soda thing because I had this conversation with my mom.
Right.
As you get older, we get set in our ways
Yeah.
and we used to certain things. So
Yeah.
sugar diabetes, right, is something that
Mm,
in our bloodline, diabetic.
okay. Yeah.
So, one day I remember, it just, I remember my grandmother having to go through insulin and going through that every
Yeah,
day, and
yeah, yeah.
I did not like it. And so now my mom is at that point to where, she's going through that process too, where she's having
Mm,
and stuff, and it bothers me.
yeah,
What really irritated me was seeing her do that, and then probably like an hour or so later, she throwing back soda.
yeah,
I say, now how that is counterproductive.
yeah,
How
yeah.
counterproductive is that? You consume all this sugar, consume all that stuff, and then you want, and then taking the insulin at the same time. So I say, hey, I'm not telling you take stop and leave it alone and go cold turkey tomorrow, but we have to be cognizant about that and start chipping
It's
away.
a sad situation.
Yeah, start
It's a
chipping
so
away at it and drinking more water. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, treat it as a reward. Wait till you're ready to eat. So
I remember, yeah, I remember one time a doctor told me, um, I asked him, why don't you all tell people to eat healthy a little more often? Why don't you all, you know what he told me?
I can about
He
imagine.
said to me that people won't do it.
Mm,
So we don't even waste our
wow.
times to do it.
Mhm.
And here's the thing, right? To add to that, you have doctors, as we all know, and this is not to knock doctors or anything. You have a lot of doctors who only focus on medicine, and they
Right,
don't know the first thing about holistic eating and all of that,
right,
right? And
right.
that's the honest truth. But you
Right.
have those who do know about it, but they
Mhm.
still won't waste their times telling people about this stuff because people won't do it. He said people won't do it. So they just don't, people
It's
would
a
be on
mindset.
medication, yep,
Mhm,
for particular illness,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
And then, as you just mentioned, and then turn around and eat something or drink something that directly affects
Yeah.
that condition.
Yep. Yep.
It's really mind-boggling.
Yeah. And listen, I used to have this saying about health overall, about weight loss and stuff. It's
Right.
a cultural thing. It's a
Yeah.
conditioning, mental
Yeah.
thing.
Hmm.
We have this preconceived notion that we can consume what we want, eat what we want, and then we expect for something supernatural to happen 20 years down the
And
road.
hope for the best.
We hope for the best when all we've done is kind of made bad decision or not the best decision as it
Yeah.
relates to our health.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you talk about clients, some of the things that I've shared with my clients, if you want to change it, you got to change how you view what you're putting in your mouth. At
Hmm.
the end of the day, you got to change it.
Yeah.
And you talk about gateways. That's one of your gateways. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You're not cognizant of what you
Hmm.
put in your mouth and affecting your digestive system. It may not hit you immediately, but keep it up. Like my grandma used to say, keep on living. It'll
Right.
keep up with you.
Exactly. Because it's so serious. It's so serious that I remember doing a T-shirt one time that said, "Don't treat your stomach like a garbage can."
I remember that.
That's what people are doing.
I
People are treating their bodies like a garbage can. You
Yeah,
use a garbage can to put garbage in there.
yeah.
And what happens when you put the garbage in there? You have to take it out in a few hours, at least 24 hours, because it starts to sink, right?
My Lord.
And right. And people need to realize that garbage in, garbage out,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So,
And if you're
you
not,
know,
your body is containing it. Your body is holding
right,
all of that
right,
fecal and stuff. That and
exactly.
healthy. It's
And
not.
it's exactly, and it's time to stop covering it up, right? And what I mean is people, I mean, I see people sometimes, man, people they dress up with all these expensive clothes and all this stuff, and all they're doing is trying to hide their flaws a lot of times, right?
Right.
And I'm not going off on no type of vanity trip or anything to say that you need to look like this or look like that. But what I'm saying is just get your body in check,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Stop using clothing and
yeah,
jewelry and
yeah.
all this stuff to make yourself feel good about yourself.
Make it.
And you know,
Mm-hmm.
you know that it's really a fad. It's a charade, and you need to do better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just develop the discipline, right? Take it one day at a time and start making these changes. You know what I'm saying? And you'll feel better about yourself,
Yeah, I agree.
right?
So if I was to say, from this conversation, I mean, because this can go on. There's so many factors,
Yep, yep,
there's
yep.
so many different things that affect that, but ultimately, it really boils down to what we're putting in our mouths, right?
Right,
As
right.
easy as it sounds, we have to be intentional about it, especially as the older we get. And if you have kids and stuff in your life, you definitely want to share that knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
About
yeah.
digestive health. Because, like I said, I know young people that have experienced some issues in that area. So,
Yeah.
takeaway for me, one of the things I'm definitely going to have to start incorporating is doing the juice in the morning. Like something. I'm definitely like to jump into some of your recipes and actually start it right away and doing the.
Mm-hmm.
I always drink a lot of water, and that's one of the things. I have a bottle of water sitting on the side of my bed for the time I wake up in the morning. When
Yeah,
so I go to bed with
yeah,
water. But I definitely want to incorporate more probiotics, prebiotics in my body, and get more fiber
yep,
in my body.
yep,
So what is
yep.
something in terms of fiber that you recommend intake?
A lot of greens, your spinach, broccoli, all
Got
of
you.
these foods are high in fiber. Beans are high in fiber, like
Got
chickpeas and stuff like that,
you. Got
high in fiber. A lot of nuts and grains, you know what I'm saying, like almond nuts,
you.
um, pistachios, and
Mhm.
I'm kind of calling things that I eat a lot of,
Got you.
right?
Got you.
Um, Cashews, right? So all of these foods are high in fiber.
Hmm.
So you want to eat a lot of high fiber foods because, and I'm glad you mentioned the fiber. Fiber is like one of the number one
Hmm.
nutrients
Yeah.
for controlling
Yeah.
um, even like sugar and stuff in your body. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, we our sugar intake is so high and our fiber intake is so low. You know what I'm saying?
We don't
That
even
it
know
creates
how much sugar we intake. It just,
it's crazy.
crazy. When I was on my journey, I wasn't aware of the stuff that I was consuming on a daily basis that was loaded, even though it wasn't naturally sweet, but it was loaded with sugar. And you're right.
Right.
So you're not balancing out with great fiber. You're creating some
So yeah, you need a lot of fiber in your diet, right? And that fiber is gonna help to regulate the
problems.
stomach and help to regulate your system,
Hmm.
right? Keep you regular and a lot of other functions that fiber has in the body. You know what I'm saying? That's really important,
Good,
right? So
good. So I guess the takeaway is definitely consume more water. I remember there's a saying you
more
should be
water.
consuming at least half your body weight in ounces of water per day, and
Right.
you should be consuming more fruits and vegetables, and definitely more fiber. So it's so funny that fiber, fruits, and vegetables kind of like runs into each other, but you really have to be
Yep.
about that. You know what I'm saying? Because not every
Right.
vegetable provides the proper amount of nutrients for fiber that you need. Fiber.
Right.
So you
Right.
have to be cognizant about what vegetables you are consuming to make sure that you get
Right.
the proper amount of fiber.
Right. And know where each nutrient is coming from. Right.
No,
Like you know where your calories is coming from. You know where your fiber is coming from. You know where your healthy fats coming from.
that
Just all those things.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, that's good, man. I'm glad that we was able to at least jump this off and initially